Hello everybody, welcome back. This is my book review for Education 407. And yes, you are hearing a little bit of music in the background. I actually live in a very loud house, and I'm trying to use the music to drown out that noise a little bit. I'm going to be reviewing Hello Ruby Adventures in Coding by Linda Lucas. After reading the whole book, there were a few passages that I really loved and actually went back to and saved for future use. One of my first favorite quotes was, "Whenever I ran into a problem, I would ask myself how a small, fierce girl would tackle it." And that's actually the author herself, Linda Lucas, talking about the first conceptions she had about a Ruby in her mind as she was a programmer learning programming herself. Hello Ruby, Adventures in Coding is a beautifully illustrated book about a little girl on an adventure to find 5 gems her dad hid for her right before he left on the business trip. And the picture, I love this picture because it demonstrates just the complexities of a simple thought and all the different working parts in our brain. And Ruby is a great example of that. She's actually a very strong and confident heroine, if you will, and we'll get to that a little bit more throughout the review. Hello Ruby, Adventures in Coding was written and developed by Linda Lucas, a programmer, storyteller, and illustrator from Helsinki, Finland. Hello Ruby first appeared on Kickstarter, a public crowdfunding platform. It actually surpassed its $10,000 goal in just over 3 hours from debut, making it one of Kickstarter's most crowdfunded children's book ever. Another great quote is, "In Ruby's world, she is the chief creator and architect." As I previously mentioned, Ruby is very confident, and there's no doubt that she can tackle every problem. And the reason why we know this is because she has this amazing ability in breaking down problems into smaller, more manageable pieces. And again, we'll get into that as the review goes along. Linda Lucas began her career as a computer programmer. She believes that children can best understand technology through play, imagination, and creation. We see this in Hello Ruby. Hello Ruby is unique in that it is not your average children's book. Outside of teaching critical thinking, it introduces children to what they unknowingly encounter every day, which is computer programming and coding. I absolutely love this book, but as a parent and educator, there were a few instances where I know that adjustments could be done to better correlate Ruby's tale with the plethora of activities that we find at the end of the book. Furthermore, the book is not just about coding. It's actually not even about coding. And it's not learning how to code, but rather the introduction to the fundamentals of computational thinking that every future kid coder will need. So it's basically a setup of the way, if you will, computer programmers think. A brief summary of Hello Ruby. In Hello Ruby, Adventures in Coding is a book about a small girl with a huge imagination. That is on a search for 5 hidden gems and the 5 friends she meets along the way. The second part of Hello Ruby is an interactive activity book that is supposed to mirror Ruby's adventure and thought process, so it reinforces what we first initially learned in the story. And the story is, once Ruby finds the note from her dad about the 5 hidden gems, she stops to ponder how she will find the gems. She decides to make a plan, seeks for clues, and draws a map based on her findings. Along the way, she meets 5 friends, each with a gem: the penguins, the snow leopard, the foxes, the robots, and Django. Each decision is broken down into smaller parts. And here we have an example of first her adventure, which is the first part of the book, which gives the story of Ruby finding the 5 gems and the process that she goes through. And then at the end of the book, which feels like a second book, just kind of smashed together to one book, is the activity section. And here we have an activity that will mirror and reinforce what was learned in the story and how you break down a problem into small manageable pieces to solve the big problem. Sorry about that. Ultimately, in analysis and evaluation, Hello Ruby was unlike any other children's book I have read, in that it introduces computational thinking to an otherwise untargeted age range. The story is simple and teaches valuable lessons to its target audience, preschool to third grade. However, I feel that in somewhat lacked cohesiveness in linking the parent to the book. Because if you're a parent with minimal computer knowledge, the book may be intimidating and feel like an unknown, like it's something you can't really sit down and talk to your child about. The title itself may detract parents from picking up the book and purchasing it, and more could have been said and done to engage and welcome parents that are not so tech savvy. And then we have a portion moving on to messages to the parent. Hello Ruby is meant to be interactive. The book opens with an intro to the parent. However, there are no clear markers to the parent about the lessons you should link to a particular chapter in the book. The activity book portion of the book contains toolboxes for the parents, but none are within the story portion. The book also has a great website that contains additional activities and educational resources, but there is no visible message to the parents or even a parents page. And all in all, although Hello Ruby Adventures in Coding feels like 2 books in one, as I feel the activity book portion can pretty much stand alone, it does a tremendous job of introducing computational thinking to our youngest learners, which is further reinforced by all the different activities following the story. And lastly, the greatest activity of all, and in my opinion the best, is that it also indirectly teaches parents the importance of giving clear and concise directions to their children by also learning to break down problems of all sizes into smaller, manageable sizes. That is my takeaway from the Hello Ruby Adventures in Coding book. Again, there was a lacking in linking parents to the book, but it does a great job of breaking down exercises and directions you give your children into small, manageable pieces. Particularly in this toolbox here that I have in the picture, it says these exercises call out ways we can give instructions in our daily lives and help understand the importance of giving commands in the right order, recognize patterns, and know how to break things down. This information is important when talking to a computer, and like it's important to talk to a computer in a very careful and thoughtful way, it's also the same when speaking to our children or when we're educating our children in the classroom. So all in all, I love this book. There were minor things, but it was incredibly eye-opening, and it taught me a lot as well. Thank you so much, and see you guys next time. Bye.